I don't think we need to waste any time. We can just get right into the Lakers talk. They're a fucking disaster. And as you see, I'm a Lakers fan, and I'm not having a good time.
I'm having a great time. As a Lakers hater, I love this. This is fantastic.
Great. I love that for you, but I hate everything else for me.
I'm in the middle right now, man. I'm not a humongous fan of the Lakers, but I'm a humongous LeBron fan, bro. I got all of LeBron's jerseys on my wall right now as we speak. And I'm just extremely saddened and disheartened. I just feel envious. Really mad.
Envious.
Angry. No, not envious, my bad. I used the wrong word. Holy shit.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of people that root for competent teams. That's what I'm jealous of. I'm jealous for anybody that doesn't have to watch Russell Westbrook 82 times a year.
I'm jealous of Russell Westbrook. This man gets to be bad at his job and make $44 million. I need that. I need that in my life.
No, on a real note, I do feel kind of bad for Russell Westbrook because it's not his fault that he's generally washed up, and he's got to be going through hell right now with the LA media cycle. Like, it's got to be tough for him.
He probably is. I try to feel bad, but then I see the way that he talks post game, and it's so ugly. And then I snap out of it, and I'm like, okay, no. When he's just dancing around questions, and like some reporter asked him what Ham's message to the team was after a loss, and he was like, oh, you got to talk to him. He's like, oh, well, we actually skipped Darvin to come talk to you, and he was like, oh, dang, that sucks to suck. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That stuff actually makes me mad.
In terms of the media, yes, but I think he's generally a good guy. All teammates vouch for him as being a really good person in the locker room. But to the media, he's always been pretty short and cold with them.
Oh no, he's for sure. All his teammates for sure vouch for him. We were talking the other day. Yeah. He's first team All NBA Make-A-Wish. Like they treat him.
That has been a crazy thing. So many people are down on Westbrook that there's so many people that feel the need to be contrarian, probably because they used to love him so much and be like, "You're scapegoating him. You're too hard on him. He's not the only issue." Well, it's a pretty fucking big issue when you're paying him $47 million to shoot 8% from three. So I don't think we have to go so far as to pretend he's not being terrible right now.
To take a 2-for-1 when you're up at the end of the game instead of holding on to the ball, it's just it's small things that are big things. But if you're the Lakers, and we'll spin this forward, right? They're honestly stuck. Like I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's anything that you can do, because if you stick with LeBron and you stick with Russ in this whole iteration, then obviously nothing's happening. You're not going anywhere. Or you can completely blow it up, but you have no picks to do it.
Blow it up with AD. That's what they need to do. That's the hard, cold truth. Blow it up with AD.
God, no, it is not.
That makes life so much easier, bro. That makes life so much easier. You can take the hard route and try to grind it out and waste the time of LeBron and piss off everybody, bro, and fucking waste the two assets that you have left. Or you can go ahead and be like, you know what? Let's just make some shake. Trade AD for Lord knows what. I don't know.
For what? For what? That's the question.
Don't ask me. I said don't ask me. Do not ask me.
I have to ask you because everyone says that dumb shit. But
look, you
all
can
that does is
ask me
guarantee
and,
LeBron's leaving next year.
No, LeBron.
What deal is out there that's going to make LeBron a contender better than Anthony Davis is? Like, there is none. You're just literally just going to decide. So you doing that is deciding that you're done with LeBron.
And I think they should. I'm not even playing. I think they should seriously consider it. I think the Lakers should seriously consider being done with LeBron. And
how much worse can you be? That's the real question.
What are we talking about here? The answer is clearly get rid of Westbrook, get rid of those future picks, and you can build a competent team around LeBron. LeBrons don't grow on trees. This opportunity for the Lakers, you don't just throw it away because things are rough right now. What are we doing?
To win a championship, do you think that if they trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner right now, that they are winning a championship?
I'm not going to say anybody's winning a championship, but are they capable of being a contender, a top 5 team in the West? Sure. They're not going to be the favorites. I'm not going to pretend that's the case. I'd rather than be a top 5 team in the West and have an outside chance of winning it than go back to being obsolete when they don't even have their picks for the next couple of years. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Exactly. So that's my point, is that if you're the Lakers, right? Let's say you trade Westbrook, you trade those picks away. And now you don't, New Orleans has all the pick swaps in the world, and then you won't have 27, you won't have 29. LeBron's gone in 3 years. He's gone in 3 years. Once he's gone and you have absolutely nothing, you are going to be in a terrible, terrible situation. And so just for the future of the franchise, it might be better long term to where you don't completely bottom out the next 6 years of your franchise if, listen, we're talking about getting Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. It's not like we're getting another superstar, and that's the big fix.
either way, they're going to go into a rebuilding phase. Like what you're saying is true, but the 2027 and 2029 picks aren't going to make that not happen. Like if you're going to that regardless,
it's just the natural. My thing is like,
I know what you're saying, but real quick, let me say this: no matter what you're saying, you're going to have to go into a rebuild. But having the opportunity, LeBron gives you a championship window if you just build a competent team around him. It just has to be competent. What you're going to be seeking with that rebuild is what you have for the next 2 years with LeBron James while he's still a superstar. There's no reason you would ever give up on that.
Yeah, nah, I like trolling Isaac, and I like just making Lakers fans mad on the internet just because it's fun. But in all honesty, like you're better off with just staying with AD, staying with LeBron. Now, an idea that I toyed with on the Bleacher Report stream. This is so left field in my mind, but I'm like, yo, what if there was a case and scenario where, you know, I think sometime this week actually, Damian Lillard was like, he toyed with the idea, and he said something about he saw a world in where he's not wearing a Blazers jersey or something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about? He said something about like of it being a possibility in the
Why
future.
do we keep asking Dame these questions? Like he clearly he says it every single year that he just wants to stay in Portland. Like what's the point?
My thing is, what if, you know, there was a Dame for AD swap? Would you do that, Isaac? Next year.
Neither team would want to do that, I don't think. I don't even see where the basis
what
for
if
that
the
would be.
Blazers wanted to abide by someone like Damian Lillard and pay him back for all his loyalty by granting whatever wish he did? That seems like a realistic scenario in my mind. It would be a stupid one, but realistic.
No, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, Dame's a small guard.
As a Lakers fan, you wouldn't do that?
Probably not. Okay, so I'm not going to overreact to AD being hurt for 2 years. He's still AD. It's been unfortunate, but it's an age thing, really. Lillard is better than Dame. Right now, Lillard is better than AD. But Lillard's a small guard who's entering his mid-30s pretty soon. Like, how many years do you have left before it kind of falls off for him?
How many? Yeah, same thing could be said about AD, though. Like,
no, it can't. For overreacting, sure. But realistically, he's still going to be great for a while.
So how long, real question, how long does a player have to go before you say they're injury prone?
No, AD is injury prone, but okay, a lot of people are. We don't do this with Kawhi Leonard. We don't do this with a lot of people. Like, the only thing we act like it's because it's the Lakers. They have all this attention. We act like you can't have an injury prone player, but you're playing to win. You're always playing for the most successful outcome. You're playing for the best case scenario, which in this case is being a healthy AD. And there comes with a high ceiling with that and a low floor. That's just what it is. But that's the case with a lot of players.
If you're the Lakers, like, building around a 38-year-old LeBron James who hasn't played a full season since he's been with the Lakers, and then you also have a brittle star on the other end, your core is extremely, extremely volatile. So
yeah, it is. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Like, either way, it's pretty hard. So in this scenario, maybe a Dame swap is like the one case where you still have that high of a ceiling with less of a downside. Sure, we're doing a lot of assuming to think that's a realistic possibility. But think of every other possible trade you could make. The ceiling is going to be nowhere near as high. And like you're saying, LeBron's hurt, so you got to play for the ceiling. You got to, because you're already betting on him being injury prone, and you're hoping that he stays healthy. So if that's the case, you got to just build for the best case scenario.
First off, this is the entire Lakers, like this LeBron Lakers era is the weirdest era that I can remember because they have a championship. They got a championship out of it, and the whole thing feels like a massive disappointment.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm the only person who knows that, acts like that. Like, everybody else acts like it's doom and gloom, like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, because it's like first year, missed the playoffs. After that, I believe they won a championship. Then after that, missed playoffs, and might as well go ahead and miss the playoffs again, bro. So it's like, and one thing that's really irking my nerves, though, when I was on a fucking Bleacher Report stream, some fucking fan was like, yeah, LeBron hasn't done anything great for the Lakers, like, ever since he joined the Lakers. He was one of those crayon eater kids, bro.
What are we doing?
One of those crayon kids. But one thing is, like, I think that a lot of people are not understanding the value of a championship. Like, they'd rather have 3 years or 4 years of maybe, possibly, or the thought of a championship may sound nice, rather than, like, actually having 100% chance to grabbing that thing. And that's what LeBron actually did for the Lakers. So, and
guess what? Guess who else won the championship was just as instrumental as LeBron? Anthony Davis. Who's done more in the last 3 years? Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard? Obviously Anthony Davis. Who gets more shit on and called a brittle bitch with no backbone? It's nothing that adds up to me.
I think the reason why AD gets called brittle is because, like, Kawhi tore his ACL, right? If AD, I guess at this point, if he tore his ACL, everyone would be like, oh, here he goes. But he's had so many just like minor injuries. And it's just like it's like every time you turn around, oh, it's something else. Oh, it's something else. With Kawhi, it's normally just like one big thing that holds him out, and you're just like.
So then, why do we not call Kawhi unreliable? These are actually big deal injuries that continuously happen. AD is unfortunate shit, like somebody rolls into his ankle.
You can say that. I'm not talking about Kawhi.
I'm not trying to say. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to say that we just hold AD to so much harsher of a lens than we do everybody else. I'm not saying we should shit on Kawhi. We shouldn't shit on anybody for being unlucky and getting injured. That's the point.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you're the Lakers, you have accomplished everything that you can. I understand why why internally you can't think that and why you can't operate that way. From the outside perspective, they have accomplished everything that they can with this core, and I think that it would be a mistake to let LeBron come in and dictate the next 6 years of your franchise, 6-7 years of your franchise, knowing that you're going to have to go into a rebuild mode regardless, and now you're not going to have the assets to go and do so. So I think that for them, if the ceiling for the Lakers right now, because obviously they're one of the marquee franchises in the NBA, you are judged by championships in Los Angeles. If the ceiling for them is, oh, we're just going to be like kind of good and like maybe we get there, maybe we don't, blow it up. You need to start over, because that's not what we're playing here for. We're not playing just for fun. Like, we're playing for championships, and you're maxed out.
They still have a chance to win a championship. Like, what you're saying is like, you're saying it's like outside looking in shit. That's exactly what it is. Like, if a team has a chance to be a contender, let's say they're the fifth best team in the West, and you always have a puncher's chance, you have a duo that great, you're gonna take that. Like, what are we doing? They're gonna sink their franchise though. Like, they're not gonna be in a good position. Pelinka has. Do you really think the Lakers aren't gonna be able to rebuild because they traded 2 future picks? Like, the Lakers are gonna be a star destination no matter what. Even when LeBron leaves, they're gonna have Anthony Davis, who, I know we hate him, he's still gonna be an attractive piece for another star to come want to play with.
You say that until it actually happens, and then you get a situation where it's 2014, 2015, and they can't get LaMarcus Aldridge to take a meeting with them, right? You get into a situation where we've seen this movie before with the Lakers.
And the movie ended with LeBron James coming to town.
and that is LeBron James, right? Still in that point in his career where LeBron, and we're in the league's dynamic, where you can have like a singular player come in and instantly like, okay, I can get LeBron and 4 bums and we can go somewhere. I don't think you can tell anybody right now, oh, let me get X player and 4 bums and we can go. I don't think that.
Of course not. Yeah.
I don't think that that's the dynamic of the league. LeBron was the only guy in the past like 10 years where that's like kind of the case.
For sure, but we've seen it for decades upon decades that they do a slight rebuild, get the nice foundation, and then some star is going to want to come there because they're the Lakers. Like, that's going to be what it is.
Bro. Yeah, Isaac, you sound really at peace compared to every other Lakers fans that's on the internet right now. They're going through hell, but you just accepted your fate. In a few years, guarantee it, guys like fucking Jarrett Culver is going to be running the starting point guard for your team, and it's going to be tumultuous. You're going to have what's his name, Ryan Kelly or Ryan? I don't know.
Oh my
Ryan
God,
Kelly,
Ryan Kelly.
years, Robert Sacre-esque years, bro. Like, it's going to be really tumultuous. Gogo Badate is going to be your starting center. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
All right, well, let's move on a little bit from this. It's the doom and gloom Lakers talk. Yeah. Welcome back to episode 8 of the podcast. Today we're talking about the first week of the season and kind of going team by team and reacting to our first impressions of these teams. We got the Lakers out of the way. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about what their on-court realities are and why they suck. But we can also move on to some other teams if y'all are ready.
Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. One thing that I want to mention off the bat is Donovan.
What's up?
Ooh, you're going to be known as one of the biggest James Harden haters. You're one of the biggest haters that I know, James Harden.
Is that me?
For
sure. You're absolutely one of the biggest James Harden haters.
Yeah. You walk it with pride, bro. You have no shame when it comes to this. What do you think of his performances so far? Because he's been going stupid.
Nah, he's played really well. He's played really well. And I think for the Sixers, like, now, I told Isaac
Sixers are weird as well.
I told Isaac this the other day because he was texting me. He's like, oh my gosh, like James Harden, he's back. I told you guys, it's game 4, right? Talk to me in game 4 of a playoff series, and
pure hater shit.
You're one of those. You're one of those.
That's with James Harden stuff. I'm telling you, we're gonna get to a game 5, game 6. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, listen! Like, this is the moment for Harden to step up and like do what we've asked him to do for the last decade." And he's not gonna take 5 shots in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wait. He'll be okay. But he started off very well. I'm gonna give him props. The Sixers, however, look it's just weird.
Very skeptical, bro.
I like. I honestly think that James, as a scorer, needs to step back a little bit, and I think they need to give Tyrese Maxey a little bit more offensive leeway, because when I've looked at them for these first 4 games, their offense looks very clunky. And whenever I see Maxey, and all of us were kind of expecting like this leap from him, he doesn't look like he fits in the offense. He looks like he's still just coming in like a 6-man, just trying to provide some energy. But it doesn't look like there's no 2-man game with him and Embiid. There's no 2-man game with him and Harden. It doesn't seem like it's a duo. It very much seems like, okay, it's the third quarter. It's 7 minutes left. It's Tyrese Maxey time now. And then we get to the fourth quarter and he's kind of just out of it.
Yeah, their offense, from what I've seen, has no rhythm. And I believe from just what I see, like, Harden has the ball in his hands a lot. And I don't remember it being like this towards the second half of the season when he first joined. And I think that now it's 2 things. Either A, Harden may think I don't think that he thinks he's that guy again necessarily on this team, that he has to be that guy.
He is that guy again this season. He's playing. Why are we framing this around Harden? Harden is not the problem.
It's not Harden. It's Doc Rivers. That's my thing. That's my thing. He's the main issue. But as someone like James Harden, like the
main issue is Embiid is out of shape
too as well.
Yeah,
that's
it's not even that. It's also supporting cast. Like, they're right now as a team, they're like 20th in rim volume. They're just not getting to the rim at all, which is to me the biggest issue is creation around James Harden. You're saying it's Tyrese Maxey isn't filling a fit in the offense. He hasn't been playing that great. Sure, maybe it's a fit issue, coaching issue, but they need those secondary creators like Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey to generate more looks at the rim more often. Because right now they're just relying on 3-point volume that isn't even going in that much. Like, they're 18th in 3-point shooting, but super high in volume. Yeah, like it's just clunkiness, like you're saying, all around. Which I guess what you're saying is true, that it hits a mix of Harden being back and demanding more usage, Embiid playing poorly. Like, they just need more time to gel. I think their offense is gonna be fine.
I think they're gonna be fine as well, because like they just have a lot of talent, and like they'll figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. But I think my idea in terms of figuring it out is this going to be like a James Harden centric offense? Is it going to be an Embiid centric offense? How are we kind of, going to work on 3? Is Maxey really going to have the space to take that leap? And for Embiid, he just has to get into shape, because they're 1-3 right now. They've lost 2 games because Joel Embiid has been lazy.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's lazy. It's kind of like a really just like negative way to put it.
Game one was lazy. Game 1 was
lazy. Implies that he's like not trying hard enough. But I think it's an out of shape thing because he's battling the injury. I think there's a difference there. Like, it's not like a ethic thing where he's like doesn't care
because he was lazy. Same thing.
Okay, either way, we're minutia. But I think their offense is going to be fine. Like I said, their defense is where I think people should realistically be worried, because we all thought they're going to be the best team or among the best teams in the East and going for that 1 seed. They're 29th right now in rim defense. Part of that is like we're talking about Embiid is out of shape, but that's not good.
Yeah, 29th with Joel Embiid on your team, bro. That shouldn't happen in any scenario at any point.
That's in rim accuracy. Let's see what they're at in rim frequency. They are. See, the thing is, they're second in rim frequency, so teams aren't getting to the rim a lot. But when they are, they're not missing. So it's kind of a mixed bag there.
Yeah, absolutely, dog. All I know is like one thing that I'm gonna closely monitor. Something else that I need to say randomly off the top of my head is like, I really like. Back to the James Harden thing, I do not want to see him average 28, 29, 27. Like, at max, I'd like him to see, I like to see him score somewhere around like 24, 23 points per game. And that just goes back to like giving guys like Tyrese Maxey specifically a lot more responsibility than he's holding right now, because I feel like that just adds another dimension to the offense. And right now they're just playing just one way, and it's all Harden or nothing. That's what it seems like to me, at least. Yeah,
but it's also like what they need, because things have been so like ungelled. Like, Harden doing that is the only reason they're a top 15 offense right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about it as if the issue is Harden won the ball too much. I think the answer has been Harden being able to handle the ball too much, or as much as he has, not too much. Yeah,
and like that, like in the game against Milwaukee, he was the only reason why they were even in that game. Like, he went crazy in the second half, and it was also very interesting to see him. Kind of just adjust to the defense, and he was taking so many mid-range shots in that game, and it was very cool to see just like a different James Harden kind of just like diversify his game. That game was very fun, but like you're saying, that was more out of like necessity, and I think if Harden has to be the lead scorer on this team, then obviously something's wrong, because you have Joel Embiid right there, and whenever I was saying like lazy in terms of like that first game, I'm talking about you have Al Horford gets into foul trouble early against the Celtics. You have Noah Vonleh and Blake Griffin on you, and you're 7'1", 270. Like you need to go down and win that matchup every single time, right? When like there were a lot of fast break opportunities that they had where he wasn't running, he wasn't catching the ceiling, and it's like, I'm not trying to sound like Shaq, but like, bro, you're 7'1", 270. Like you should be dominating these dudes, and so we'll see how he advances, and like, if that injury in the offseason, that Liz Frank injury that Doc Rivers mentioned, is truly going to hinder him. But like, if Embiid's not there, if Embiid's not the number one option, he's not playing like it, then yeah, offensively they have a real problem.
For sure. But I think he'll get back in shape like we're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought up the transition thing, because that's actually the biggest problem with their offense right now. I'm looking at the numbers. They're 29th in frequency of transition plays and just 25th in efficiency on those plays. So they're really good when they're in the half court. They're the fourth offense when they're there in terms of scoring efficiency, but they're just there way too much. Like, to be a high-level offense, you got to get out in transition a little bit, because those shots are so efficient and so easy. If everything is in the half court, everything's going to be so difficult that it's really not sustainable.
Exactly. They play. So right now I'm looking at it. They play at the slowest pace in the league. They're 30th in pace at 95 possessions.
Sense.
So
and that's typically what you get with the James Harden team. So that's not anything new. And Joel Embiid's not the fastest player either. But, it's got to be a higher bar than that. You can't be dead last unless you're shooting ridiculously efficient in the half court like those old Rockets teams did. And
they're not.
That's not what's happened so far.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all kind of like in agreement that the Sixers are going to get back. Like the 1-3 start is kind of
they'll be fine. Okay. At least offensively. I'm not worried about the offense at all, but defensively, they're not reaching the top 2-3 team in the East unless they figure out how to make the rim defense better, and hopefully we can just assign that to Joel Embiid getting more in shape.
Okay. Can we talk about a team that I actually am worried about?
Yes.
I'm very worried about the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous.
Okay, so tell us first off what your biggest issue is.
Okay, so they can't guard anybody. That's
a pretty big issue.
They cannot guard anybody. Right now, they're last in defensive rating, and they are 3 points worse than the second worst team in the league in terms of defensive rating.
That's so pitiful.
Ben Simmons also has not looked like fantastic.
Yeah, no, he's looked bad. We can be honest. As a big Ben defender, he's been bad. Listen, okay, we can say he's been bad, but we can also be fair and use context as to why he's been bad. Like, both can be true.
Yeah.
He's looked like shit. He looks very uncomfortable. A lot has been made about the fact that he's not looking to score at all. He's like doing what he did with Trae Young, where he's going up, open layup, and he'll pass to a teammate. Mm-hmm. That's true. Clearly, his confidence has not been there to find his own shot, and he's kind of like trying to find his place in the team as a playmaker, not do too much. But I think that's another thing that's going to come with time. People like Jamal Murray aren't looking great either because they missed a whole year with injury. We have to apply to Simmons the same grace we would to them, just because his injury isn't so apparent, like an ACL injury. He did miss a whole year, so like he looks like shit, but he'll probably be back to his form eventually.
I think,
man, I agree with that, but at the same time, I disagree with that, bro. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, bro, you had all this time off, and you ain't been.
That's not how that works.
I understand. But at the same time, like, you have to have the just like the slightest curiosity, and I may be like just jumping the gun or whatever, but it's like, yo, what did you do this offseason? Like,
recover from injury.
Like, bro, I get the whole recover from injury thing. Like, he had a serious injury. I think he had like something up with his back, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of the mental health
even
stuff, which is what it is.
Yeah, I understand the mental health thing, but like, yo, like, he's coming back as the same player, but just like worse. And I'm just like, dude, like, I was damn near about to go ahead and hop on the Ben Simmons train because I was trying to, like, I was trying to be supportive of him, and I still am. And I don't want to say a supporter because that's kind of wild to say on camera. I'm not a Ben Simmons supporter. But it's just like, it's such a letdown. You're talking about how hard the Nets are going to be to stop on the offensive end. Bro, talk about how hard we're going to be. Right now, we're talking about how hard it is for them to stop anyone on the offensive end.
I mean,
that's just so backwards.
To be fair,
now
they are hard to stop on offense, right? Like, they're seventh in offensive rating right now, like
with Ben Simmons being ass.
Yeah, so like the ceiling is there for them to make that jump and be competent on both sides of the ball and actually like put everything together. But that's what we talked about before the season. We said if everything clicks, this team can win a championship. If everything if a couple pieces don't fit, if you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole, then this could be a bottom, a second half of the conference type of team. And right now, at least on the defensive side, that's what's going to hold them back, and that's what's going to.
But are we shocked by that? Like, I feel like we could have predicted that it would start slow in this way, and that they obviously have defensive issues, having no real good big rim protector. Right now, they're trying to make Ben Simmons see if he can be a small ball 5. He's never been a 5. Like, it kind of could have assumed it's not going to work, but they got to try it. The real answer is they need to get another 5 in there to play next to Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
When he gets up and gets more comfortable in his game, he can go back to being the DPOY level defender he can be. But even that player isn't a rim protector. That's not his role. It never has been. They need to find, on the trade market, the buyout market, whatever it is, they need to find someone who's big and can block shots.
But even then, did you think that they would be 30th? That they would be dead last through the first week?
Probably, no, of course not. But did I think there was going to take some time for them to figure it out? And they're going to be a bad defensive team regardless. Did I think they'd be really bad at first and probably get better throughout the season? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this bad? No, of course not. Of course not.
I think with Ben, obviously that whole defense needs to get fixed. I think it's very, very interesting because everybody's been saying like, if he could just, play the Draymond role, he'll be fine. He'll be perfect. He's literally playing the Draymond role. He won't look at the basket. He doesn't want to shoot at all. He's not trying to do any of that stuff. He at least needs to get the dribble handoff fake in his bag. I need to see that from Ben. But I think, is there a big out there right now? Like, who's the first big that comes to mind when we're talking about the buyout market or the trade market that they can go and get to fix this?
Mo, do you have any names?
Off the top of my head, there's nothing realistic for them.
Yeah. I don't think the names, we need to focus on that because all the teams are going to be taking to the bottom of this trade deadline. The deadline is going to be popping. So many people are going to be available you're not expecting. Like, think of a mediocre team that's going to be asked, like Plumlee off the Hornets. They're going to give him away for a bag of chips at the deadline because they're going to want to be asked the second half of the year. It's going to be guys like that who you don't really think about right now, but they're going to magically become available because the team decides to go another direction. They're going to get a body.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely going to. But on the defensive end, I can't think of anyone who could leave, who could have that type of impact. Well, they don't even have to have a major impact. They just need to be okay, like damn near not passable, but a little bit better than passable. It's got
to be competent.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that alone would send them a long way. But there's just so many names off the top of my head, but I can't think of like an absolute like perfect fit.
Maybe so he's also not a great defender, but he's decent. Maybe the Timberwolves are going to trade Naz Reid at some point. He's their third string center now, and he's valuable. It could be something like that. Like it doesn't have to be anybody super flashy. Like Naz Reid isn't the best defender in the world, but he's good.
To go ahead and turn around their season, things are tough out there.
I was just about to say they are in
cold
the
season.
Oh yeah, bro. The answer is Mo Bamba. That's like the perfect scenario. Mo's rotting away in the bench in the Magic. Like they re-signed him to trade him basically.
Yeah, that's a great one actually. That's a great one, bro. Or if they strike out on all those guys and they're like, yo, well, we just, at the very least, they want to stretch 5 or whatever, go ahead and try to go throw some at Utah for fucking Kelly Olynyk.
Yep, I was going to say that, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, is nice.
Yeah. Point is, there's going to be hella options out there for big men this trade deadline. They just have to get one. Like, it really just has to be somebody that's decent.
Listen, they need to do something because John Morant, by the way, so disrespectful. Did the gritty right in front of Kevin Durant at the end of the game. He's literally dancing in front of this man. Like, if you're Kevin, you have to do something, right? Like, this can't.
That's a good segue.
This can't happen for 82 games.
No, that's a good segue. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and more specifically, Ja Morant.
Dude,
we just did a video last week where we reacted to some Bleacher Report rankings, and they put him at 10th in the league. And I was like, yeah, it's solid. I'd probably put him like 12th or so. Listen, I don't know if I do that anymore. Yeah. He looks like he's transcending to the level that his biggest supporters were saying he's already at. Yeah. It's kind of undeniable now.
Yeah, exactly, bro. As a Trae Young fan, you will not be seeing me on camera saying none of that, like, oh, he's better than this, just as of yet, because Trae Young hasn't performed anywhere near close to that level at all. And the stardom is just undeniable. Y'all ever seen that that Gucci bag meme where it's like about to tear apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like me and my Trae Young argument, bro. Like right now, it's like, yo, I'm on my last strings right now, bro. I look like a fucking jackass if I was to say anything else other than like, yo, the dude is literally incredible. He's probably gonna be top 2 point. Well, Luka's a point guard, so top 3 at the end of the season. That's not nothing crazy to say at all.
Yeah,
I mean, him and Damian Lillard, like, yo, if you were to say John Morant's better than Damian Lillard before the season started, you look like a fucking jackass. But now, if you were to say that, you would get 100% like credibility for that.
To be fair, Dame's been great too. But yeah, your point is correct. Like, Jaw's hitting the level where he's going to be in the conversations with the best pretty soon. And the defense is still an issue, but the defense is an issue for a lot of high-level players. His offense looks to be so transcendent. He's just so impactful in the way he drives offense. And just the most thing that stands out to me this year is he makes something out of nothing. Like, there's one play yesterday in the Nets game where Trey Jones threw him a lob. It wasn't even a very good lob. It was kind of an errant pass. And Ja Morant just reached up and caught it and, like, put it in the basket without even cocking back or anything. Yeah. It was just like, how the fuck did he finish that? It was some Zion shit.
Yeah.
He just makes something out of nothing consistently.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple of games before that, he was playing against the Houston Rockets, and there were several blocks that's just like, how the fuck did you get there, and how did you jump that high to go ahead and get that? You fucking blocked Jalen Green towards the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. And there's just been so many moments where he's like literally the smallest dude on the court out there 9 times out of 10, but he's having the biggest impact. He's the baddest dude out there 9 times out of 10. That's what it feels like at least.
He's just different. It's so crazy because even just like the way that he moves, man, like the way that, like, when he comes off of a pick and roll, right, the way that he comes around it and just darts towards the basket is different. And at least early on this season, and we saw it a little bit at the start of last season, kind of tailed off, but he's shooting the 3 really, really well, right, through the first 4 games, right?
Yeah.
He's shooting 60% from 3. Obviously, that's not sustainable, but if he's there and if that number gets to, like, 36,
35,
right, 35, 36, it's over. It's over. Because
I'm looking at some of his numbers now. So he currently has the highest volume of pick and roll shots in the whole league right now. So they're just like, his usage is through the roof. And he's not the most efficient in the league, but he's still in the top 75th percentile. And so some players like Damian Lillard are top volume and top efficiency. They're just like pick and roll gods. But it's pretty rare to be number 1 in volume and still have really high level efficiency. To be able to do that, it just shows that you're able to drive offense on an extremely high level. And even if you don't have your second best player, you can just be constantly creating for others in a way that he has been. And you just can't replicate that.
This man is a baby Giannis. He's a 6'3" Giannis, but he's just going to the rim every single time. And you can't stop him. Right?
Exactly.
Like, there's not a lot that you can do to get in his way. And honestly, the only times that I see him, like, mess up is whenever he stops early and he starts to pivot. But if he makes up his mind, like, oh, I'm gonna get to the rim, I'm gonna jump over you, he's gonna get to the rim, and like that shot's gonna get up. I think Memphis is in a really, really good position moving forward. And
I was gonna say that. Does this change how you feel about the team now that it seems like he's like hitting this next tier? Okay, how do you feel about him now?
I think they could be top 2 in the West.
Wow, top 2.
I think that they can be top 2. I still think Denver. I still think once Jamal comes around, like, and they hit their stride, I think Denver's going to go on a really long run later in the year.
We have some stuff to talk about with Denver, but we'll get to that in a bit. But keep going.
I think the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are going to be top 2 in the West. There's a couple holes that I see in Golden State. There's a couple holes that I see in the Clippers early. And Memphis, they're just going to keep getting guys back. They're just going to get Jaren Jackson Jr. back, right? John Morant keeps playing like this. If somehow we can get Dillon Brooks out of the franchise, right? Like, we could, they could just keep moving forward. But I don't see any downsides to what they can do in the regular season. If John's playing like this. If he's doing this on a nightly basis, what do you? Yeah.
And we saw Desmond Bane finally have his breakout game for the season last night.
Yeah, damn near dropped 40.
Looking like Klay Thompson.
That was fucking bogus.
Looking like old Klay Thompson.
I think you're kind of crazy for that, Donovan. There's nothing.
You think I'm crazy for that?
I love just a little bit. Top 2.
I mean, they were the 2 seed last year. How crazy could it be?
They were a 2 seed last year, but I just feel like things are a little bit different, and I feel like because of all the talent that's coming back to the West, Kawhi's coming back, the Clippers have Paul George now, Jokic has help. The Nuggets are. I mean, I said the Nuggets. The Pelicans are better. Hopefully, we're gonna talk about the Timberwolves later, but you never know what the fuck they're gonna be up to, bro. Then there's still the Phoenix Suns. There's just a lot of talent there, and the Memphis Grizzlies lost a little talent over the past offseason, and Who'd they lose? Fucking what's his name?
Kyle Anderson.
Kyle Anderson, yeah. I'm a huge Kyle Anderson fan, bro.
They're fine. Kyle Anderson. Santi Aldama stand up. He's kind of moved into the rotation as a pretty solid role player. I think they're all right.
Wait, but Mo, here's the thing. On two of those teams, I don't want to hear anything from you about the Phoenix Suns are here, because both you and I had the Suns in the play-in tournament. So that's one. And then two, and then with the Timberwolves, both of us, neither of us had them in the top 3 or I think even in the top 4. And so, like, we talked about the Grizzlies being in the top 4 of the West. And now that the teams that we had ahead of them, like the Warriors, like the Clippers, if you feel the same way about me, in terms of like, okay, there's a little bit of holes, and like this Clippers thing is going to take a while to get off the ground, and because of like Kawhi and his load management, and we'll see what the Warriors do in the regular season. Like, are they just going to coast and be ready for the playoffs? There's an opening for the Grizzlies to make that run again and be a top 2 seed in the West.
Yeah, but I only think that that's possible if Ja's consistently dropping fucking 30 bombs with insane efficiency, and I don't know if he's going to be able to keep this up. I don't know if he's generally going to be able to keep
he won't keep up 46 points back-to-back nights type shit. I mean, he doesn't have to.
All his shots are 2 feet away from the rim. Like, he's going to be okay. Like, I feel very confident about his efficiency, because he's faster than everybody else on the court. He can jump higher than everybody on the court. And his touch around the rim is insane. So
one of the most impressive things that has blown me away outside of all this, besides his 3-point shooting, is his like free throw percent. He's getting to the line like 10 times a game, and he's shooting at like, I don't know, 80 or 90% or something like that. And that for Ja Morant is fucking huge, and he's really getting his form down, bro.
That's what you got to do to hit that like 30 points per game type level score. It has to be getting more free throws. Like, that's always the winning solution.
Yeah, if he maintains that level, you got it. You got me. Ja is that dude, in the Memphis Grizzlies are that team. You know?
Yeah. He's shooting 86% from the free throw line right now, which is
that's crazy. That is crazy.
And typically that's 3-point percent. What did you shoot last year from the free throw line?
70-something, 77. I'm assuming.
Yeah, typically free throw percentage is a pretty good indicator of shooting ability.
76% last season.
Yeah. So if you made a leap in free throw percentage, there's a good chance the 3-point percentage stuff we're seeing is going to stick around too.
Yeah, exactly. That's a direct correlator of like just how good someone's form is. The only player in like NBA history in my mind who's like 3-point percentage don't match up with their free throw percentage is like fucking Andre Iguodala, and that's it.
Yeah,
outside
of that, it happens sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I think we can agree that Job's absolutely him. He's transcended everybody who was just like meat riding him, talking about he's just this god. They were a little early. Yeah, they were early, but they saw it, and it wasn't hard to see. But the people like us that just need to see it a little bit more, we've seen it. This is who he is.
Speaking about meat,
okay.
What a wild
transition.
Okay, my bad.
That was not a smooth transition.
Yeah. Speaking about
where are you
meat,
going?
It was smooth in my head. Speaking about meat, I don't know if you guys saw, but Karl Anthony Towns was going ahead and kind of sending semi shots to Anthony Edwards, talking about how
I thought that was fine.
He doesn't think it was funny that
there's nothing wrong with that.
Popeyes, bro.
Yeah. The comment let's give him some context. What happened was in a post-game press conference, somebody asked Karl Anthony Towns about Anthony Edwards' conditioning, because he had talked about it in his presser that it's not where he wants it to be. And Karl Anthony Towns just agreed that, it's not great right now. As a veteran leader, I should do a better job of preaching to him to take care of your body. And Ant had made some jokes about eating Popeyes after the games. Yeah. And Kat said, I don't think that's funny. I think that type of shit is not okay. Yeah. And people hate Kat, so everyone's up in arms about it.
Yeah. No, in my mind,
not a fan. Not a fan. No. I don't think that you are supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to do that to the media. I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think that you're supposed to take shots, and especially.
Is it a shot?
It is.
Yeah,
it is a shot.
I don't think it's a shot.
It's a shot, and it's a criticism. And if you are talking about, I'm coming from the veteran perspective and I have to help the young dude out, that's a conversation that you need to have in private. And that needs to be something that's handled in the locker room. And I just didn't think that it was right for Cat to say that publicly. I think that's 100% right. I think you need to be on top of your body. I think like Cat's probably right. It probably does make him mad, but like you need to handle that one-on-one, and we shouldn't know about any of that beef, especially if it really makes you mad. And Cat was coming off as like, oh yeah, like I'm really upset about this. Speak to
the media.
Talk to Ant. We're 4 games into the season. Talk to Ant privately, and then we can go from there. That's my biggest problem with it.
Aside from the locker room politics about how we're feeling, let's talk about their actual on the court product, because I don't really give a shit about that. There's some real criticisms to this team right now, especially to Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
So let me know what y'all's first impression of this team is right now.
You can see the cracks, and I think you can see what's going to happen in the playoffs, and all of the concerns that people had coming into the season about the fit, they are showing up. And so like you still have Gobert at the rim, and he's going to go and he's going to defend everything. But that means that Cat's going to be on the outside, and he's going to have to play perimeter defense. And he hasn't been great doing that. And so once that happens, when you start matching up against those good teams, that can go small.
Not even good teams.
You're going to get ran off.
Right now, they're a good team, but
they're the best team right now. They respect Larry Markkinen.
Crazy. But like that, it's just so crazy that Rudy Gobert's team went ahead and knew how to go ahead and put that man in the motherfucking blender. They had that man running around the court, bro, looking like a lost dog, and fucking Karl Anthony Towns was left.
Oh yeah, they just 5-outed them, so he couldn't do what he's good at. Yeah.
Exactly, and like, bro, it's just like. This is just my thing with Rudy Gobert. He's cool as a player. I don't want to say I love him like you was. He's cool as a player, but I on top of like them already starting off, which is normal, it just looks way worse because like they do have these cracks that everyone thought that they would have. With the
but I see what you're alluding to. The issue right now isn't Rudy Gobert. I'm not going to pretend that he's the problem right now.
It's not Rudy.
That was just funny to see.
Yeah, it's not just Cat. It's also Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has played like shit for multiple games.
Yeah.
And he said in the press conference that the smaller we play, the better it is for me. He's clearly having a hard time struggling to their new offensive system and like the spacing they have and the way you got to play with the bigger team. He hasn't done a good job adjusting to that. And maybe you could say he never was going to have a good job of that because this team isn't as conducive to him anymore, and that's an issue with team building. But end of the day, if this team is going to be where everybody thought it could be, it's because Anthony Edwards makes that leap that everyone assumes he was going to make. And if he can't do that because there's a big on the court with him, that's an issue.
Okay, break down real quick, right? What does Anthony Edwards have to do offensively? Like, what's going to have to change in the Timberwolves system when you have those two bigs out there, and like, what's the adjustment that he's going to have to make?
In my mind,
for both of y'all.
In my mind, he has to go ahead and start trying, or at least start taking steps to becoming more of a proactive passer. Meaning, like, just don't make the obvious point-blank decisions. Try to jump the gun and be a couple steps ahead of the defense. And on top of that, I think he just needs to become a better shooter point-blank period. Or at least a more consistent shooter point-blank period.
Those things are both true objectively for him to hit that next level. In terms of being more specific about the issues right now, one, it is the conditioning thing. He hasn't been in great shape. He's kind of burnt out towards the end of the year. End of games, he's been kind of burning out. I think it came out that he weighs like more than Karl Anthony Towns while being 6'5" or something like that.
Yeah.
He's not playing fair.
That's fine. That's fine. It happens a lot. People coming out of shape. That'll be fine. Like most things you're talking about, it'll work itself out. The big adjustment he has to make is learning how to, like Mo said, passing, and also learning how to finish when you have this type of spacing, because now there's basically always going to be somebody in the dunker spot or somebody posted up on the other side of the court. So those driving lanes that he was once looking at are just a little bit tighter. Mm-hmm. Those passes he has to make are just a little bit tighter, and he just has to adjust to being able to make those type of reads because they're not always harder, but they're just different.
Yeah. Okay.
So much more different. It's so much more harder, bro. He had a luxury no one else in the NBA has, bro. They got to play with the greatest shooting big in NBA history.
Yeah, he has so much spacing.
Going from that to like Rudy Gobert, big ass, is standing in the paint in the dunker spot, just chilling. It's a huge difference, and I don't like. They're gonna struggle at first. They're gonna struggle at first. And I don't expect Ant to go ahead and make that adjustment until maybe like 30, 40 games of the season. That could really
40 games.
I don't know about that, bro.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
maybe.
but see, I think one thing I think we should say is we're talking about the lack of spacing now, and their spacing isn't bad. Like, I mean, like I can look at what their shooting is as a team, but the problem isn't that having that big makes it so you have bad spacing, because, like we're saying, Cat is one of the best shooting bigs of all time, so he can be out spacing on the perimeter and shoot. But the problem is, right now he has to get used to doing that, because he's so used to, like, you know, playing inside centric and then popping out, but really focusing on being in the post. He has to get more used to doing that.
Yeah.
And even if you have someone like Gobert inside, you can be like, you know, 4 out, 1 in and still have elite spacing. We just got to like prioritize the fact that it's not that it's worse now. It's just very different.
Yeah, exactly. And for someone like fucking Anthony Edwards' teammate, D'Angelo Russell, like this is perfect basketball for him.
Oh, he's cooking
like that. He's having a. I don't think he's having a great season. I ain't seen no crazy stats, but I'm sure that he's having a much better. Not much better, but I'm sure he's going to perform way better with Rudy Gobert on the team. Simply because it's just another offensive threat, and he's a proactive passer and not one of the best passers in the NBA, but he's definitely one of the better passers in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it just,
right now, the Timberwolves are 21st in three-point volume, but 28th in accuracy. So their spacing isn't good right now. They have to have the shooting around Gobert to make it so they can still have that, like, make his rim threat matter more because you have spacing around him, and they haven't had that yet. What is Cat shooting himself? Because I know he has not played well.
So while Isaac looks that up, Mo, have your feelings about the Timberwolves changed from the first week? Like, does your outlook on what their season look like, has that changed?
The outlook on, I want to say yes, but could this be a reaction? I don't fucking know. That's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just say yes. I think we may have jumped the gun just a little bit on the T-Wolves, and their issues may be a little bit more deeper than at least I thought myself. You probably called it out on the money right there in your analysis on that. But for me, I think I had them, 4th or 5th or something like that on my Western standings. I'm looking at it right now. Like, I had them 5th, and I think that a lot of teams are going to expose them and really just straight up, like, attack Cat and have the royal game.
Yeah, okay. I probably also jumped the gun a little bit. I'm not surprised at this because obviously you're playing with 2 bigs. It's a whole new system. It's going to take time to adjust, which is kind of, you know, a running theme of what we're talking about with all these teams. That's not surprising, but I'm less confident they're going to be able to adjust super fast now. I think there might be a little bit more of a loading period that I think I had them number 4 as well. Maybe it's going to be more like 5 or 6 because they have this slow start. I still think by the time it gets to the end of the season, they'll be at this high-level regular season team. They're going to hit that. It just might take a little bit longer than anticipated.
Yeah, just because there's so many different adjustments from other players going on. Like, D'Angelo Russell, cool, but Rudy has to, you don't really have to adjust. But Carl Anthony, your two best players have to make major adjustments. That's the biggest thing.
See, so how many, last year Cat shot 4.9 3-point shots a game. How many do you think he's shooting this year now that he has to be more of a spacer?
With the way you asked that question, I'm gonna assume that he's shooting around the same or a little less than that when he should be shooting like 9 or 8 a game.
Well, 9's crazy, but
I'm gonna say 4.3.
You think he's shooting less now? No, he's shooting a little more. He's shooting 5.5.
Okay,
but he's shooting 31% from 3 right now instead of the 41 he shot last year. Which, you know, that's just variance. That'll come around.
Yeah,
but yeah, he hasn't been the spacer he needs to be because, like, when you're watching them, you can clearly tell that they're having issues with him up, kind of trying to hold the same part of the court that he did last year. Sometimes he's posted up and Gobert is on the other side of the dunker spot, and it's just not great modern offense. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to play more from the high post, from the perimeter, and he just hasn't gotten used to it yet.
It's very funny. I need to look at what their schedule, what the upcoming schedule looks like, because the first 4 teams that you would have played, you would have thought that they would have gotten off to a faster start. You play Oklahoma City twice, you played San Antonio, and you played the Jazz. You played 3 teams that are supposed to be in the victor sweepstakes, and you're 2-2 right now. And tough. So it's going to be really, really tough once that schedule comes around, and once they hit like that 10-game run where you just have to play playoff team after playoff team.
Yeah,
that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. Let me look at what their schedule looks like for the next 5
it's gotta
games.
There's gotta be some correction because those are fucking supposed to be 4 easy licks.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But then again, as we know now, the Jazz and even the Spurs now, they're 3-1, are not easy licks by any means.
Okay, so they have their next. These are the next 5 games: Spurs, Lakers, Spurs, Phoenix, Milwaukee. So they still have their schedule is still low key front loaded, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. Once that All-Star break hits and we get to the second half of the season, they're going to be in murderer's row on the schedule, and it's going to be very, very tough. So hopefully
by then they're formidable.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully everything has come together for them, but it's not looking good right now. And I think I have a lot of concerns with them that are actually like they've manifested themselves very early, so we kind of know what's about to happen.
Yeah, this is the team that of all these struggling teams are making big adjustments. This is the one I'm like the most seriously concerned about, I think.
But hey, first in rebounding, like they're doing that well.
Great. Well, if we're talking about teams that are first, I think we should talk about give the Portland Trailblazers their just due. They've been such an impressive team so far. I don't know how impressive they are in terms of like their outlook for like being a real contender or not, but they've been handling their business. The whole idea of building around Damian Lillard by giving him long, fast athletes on the wings that can go out there and run the court and just surround him with the type of speed he's never played with before, that's been paying his dividends.
Absolutely, I think, listen, Anthony Simons is nice. And I had a couple of concerns, and like I just wanted to see it on the floor in terms of what their dynamic looks like, playing off of each other. And they have no problem playing off of each other. Simons went for 22 points in 8 minutes against the Nuggets. Completely took over. He hit the game winner in overtime against the Suns. Like you have two guys who can again create, and it's so nice because Simons is more explosive than McCollum was, and so like you were saying, you can just get downhill a whole bunch, and it's worked.
The problem is he's a cone on defense though, but. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, McCollum he was good. He was like cone plus, right?
He tried hard. He was just little.
Yeah, but I think that having them two up front, and then the fact that you have a Jeremy Grant in the front court that can kind of handle a lot of things. Listen, shout out to them. Shout out to them because I easily thought like that they were probably going to start off 1-3, and we were going to have those like Dame conversations of, does he want to be here? Should they trade him? This and that.
Yeah,
they're gonna be solid. They're gonna be solid.
We should talk about Dame a little bit too, because Dame is fucking back. I got like so much slack in the offseason and all these fucking YouTube Shorts comments about people saying I'm crazy for having Dame as a top 10 player still. Like just short-term memory loss. It was stupid. He's still him. Like what are we doing?
Talk your shit. Yeah,
Dame is Dame. He still never stopped being Dame. He was just injured.
He had a slow game. He had a slow game one. He was 5 for 18 against the Kings. Since then, 41, 41, 31, 5 for 12 from 3, 6 for 13 from 3, 4 of 7 from 3. He's right now he's 50% from the field, 40% from 3-point line. Let me see if he's at 50, 40, 90 to start the season.
Shit,
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
I'm
not even a Trailblazer. I'm not even particularly a Dame fan. I just hate overreaction in every context, and I don't know why people were writing him off. It was so dumb.
Especially with someone like Damian Lillard, where his game is not necessarily predicated to like insane explosion or athleticism or anything like that. Now, yes, he does use those things to his advantage, but like it's not nothing crazy like a Russell Westbrook or John Wall or anything of that nature. Speaking about like guards coming back, this is a perfect time to go ahead and talk. We talked about the Blazers just slightly briefly, but seeing John Wall just coming back against the Los Angeles
Cut
Lakers,
off Damian Lillard talk for John Wall.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry, but I'm from Atlanta, but bro, I was born in North Carolina, and John Wall was too, bro. John Wall, gang sign John Wall. He just has a special place in my heart, bro. He's over here Dougie again, hitting so many jumpers, bro. Absolutely.
I think the biggest thing with John Wall, we saw, like, especially in that Lakers game, is just the confidence he's playing with. Like, he was like talking about all offseason, like, I'm going to be the playmaker. I know my role in this team. He got out there, mid-range shot. He was throwing them bitches up, and he was feeling it. You could tell.
Screaming, showing so much passion, bro. I'm just like, yo, nothing makes me happy. Nothing's making me happy right now because this dude was over here talking about how he was but he was going through some really deep, dark thoughts. Things of that nature. And now he's like, literally the missing piece. The missing piece for the Clippers, bro. He's back.
Yeah. And if we talk more specifically about what his game looks like now, he's not old John Wall. He can't jump anymore. Sure. He's not like the insane athlete he used to be. But that man is still fast. And his ability to push the pace and, like we're talking about the playmaking, it's not even just the passing. He's the best passer on the team. They needed that. but it's the penetration. Their whole team was so predicated on just guys like Paul George and Kawhi who are good athletes, create off the dribble, but mostly have jump shots. They don't really get to the rim that much. Yeah. Him being able to bend defenses and just create penetration, make the defense rotate, get the ball moving is going to be so valuable to them, especially in their closing lineups.
They now have 4 guys in that starting lineup that can like legitimately like that.
Well, he's off the bench
that you trust, right? In the finishing lineup, right? Like like they have 4 guys now, and I think that like you, especially in this early part when Kawhi is going to be doing this like load managing stuff. And so it's weird because the Clippers, they're 2-2. And I think for a team that we thought was going to be the number 1 seed, this is kind of low-key like a slow start.
No one ever talks shit about the Clippers, bro. Like, Isaac, what is going on?
I didn't predict them to be number 1 seed because I knew this would happen. Like, they're going to have a lot of games that they're not going to, their record isn't going to be an indication of their quality as a playoff team because their stars are going to be resting so much. So I think this is kind of to be expected. They're not going to be a 500 team. They're going to eventually pick it up, but this is going to happen a lot.
Yeah, my bad, Darwin. Get in your bag.
Nah, it's all good. I just think like for the entire like essence of why we think that the Clippers are going to be really good is because of their depth and the fact that we're not getting like Houston John Wall, where we're like, oh, he's like clearly washed and we're getting a better version of that. I think that heightens what we thought of the Clippers' depth that we already thought was amazing. Right.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So once you get into the playoffs and like projecting this out, because with the Clippers, that's kind of all you can do because Kawhi is still coming back. Projecting this out, you have him, Norman Powell.
We can talk about him. He's been fucking shit.
Yeah.
Norman Powell, he's the guy who needs to get it together. Looking at his stat lines, he shot 2 for 8, 4 for 9, 1 for 10, and 2 for 8. From the field in these 4 games.
He'll be fine.
He'll be good.
He'll get it together at some point, but he's been fucking dog water.
But a question I have is that now seeing how John Wall is playing, Isaac, looking back at it a year ago, I feel like there's conversations about potentially doing like a John Wall for Russell Westbrook swap. As a Lakers fan, looking back at it now, would you do that shit?
No, it's not the same thing. I mean, John Wall's been good. He's back to being him.
You wouldn't trade? You wouldn't have traded
No, he's
John
useful
Wall?
for this team, but it wouldn't have been 1-to-1. They needed picks from the Lakers, and John Wall's not that good to where you're willing to give up future picks for a 1-to-1 swap. Yeah. Like, if they had John Wall, they'd still be ass. Like, they wouldn't be as destructive as they are this year with Russell Westbrook. Like, I would rather have John Wall 1-for-1 right now, just because, like, the interpersonal dynamics, Russ is not adjusting well to this role. John Wall would probably adjust better. But would I give up future picks to make that swap? No, they still would have been a bad team. If you're going to give up these future picks, you need to have something that moves the needle.
Okay. However,
he's been good.
Yeah. All right. So you don't want the Lakers to give up picks. You don't want them to go give their picks to all these other teams that are stockpiling picks, like the Utah Jazz, who are somehow 3-1 right now. Right?
Shout out to them.
We need to talk about the. We need to give the Jazz some love. We need to give them some love.
He had a bad game last night, but Lauri Markkanen is looking like he's going to make one of those random all-star games from players who just have like that one crazy year, like Julius Randle a few years ago. He's playing on that level where it's like, why is he doing this night in and night out? This is Lauri freaking Markkanen. We've seen him for 4 years be mid as hell. How is he doing this?
Dude,
sometimes you have usage on a bad team that happens.
If I was a Chicago Bulls fan, like on the low key, I would feel so sick to my stomach just seeing 2 young players who a lot of Bulls fans thought were going to be really damn good just go ahead and flourish. Not on good teams, but still like flourish and elevate their career and the status of their career. Guys like Wendell and now Lowry, bro. But
yeah, going
back to the Utah Jazz, this is just like a team of just like unwanted pieces from just about every team in the league is what it feels like or whatever. And they're just like making it work and they're like just moving genuinely, purely as a unit. And it's like kind of hard to play against them. And it's hard to play against them from because like no one takes them seriously. And also too, like you don't know where you're going to get it from. It could be fucking Lauri Markkanen. It could be Mike Conley doing something. Jordan Clarkson
Kelly
coming off
Olynyk.
the bench. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk. And out of all the players, I thought Colin Sexton was going to get a lot of burn, but turns out he's not getting as much of burn as I want. Or at least I thought he was, because they'll give it to you as well. It's just coming from everywhere, bro. Everywhere. So
yeah, I think the Colin Sexton thing is like injury recovery. Like they're like, he missed a year too. Like we forget about that. Like he's just getting back into it. Probably out of minutes restriction that just hasn't been publicized. But yeah, like you said, it's just full team effort. They play like a 5-out offense with Olynyk and Lowry as your bigs. Sometimes Lowry and Vanderbilt. they have so much ability to just if they're playing a team that isn't disciplined on defense and isn't locked in because they think it's a lick, they can abuse you because their offense can be so potent with these guards that can just like Jordan Clarkson who just get mixy and clear off the dribble with all this spacing. Yeah. They're just dangerous tonight, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Utah. Shout out Utah.
All that being said, this isn't gonna last that long, so let's enjoy it while it's here. Like
it
is a bit fluky, but sure. Larry Markkinen isn't KD actually, but it's nice to see.
This is the best case scenario for Jazz fans because they can get a little bit of happiness at the start of the season, and then once they start losing games, then they're right back into the Vic sweepstakes, so they can have they can have both this season. Yeah. That's the best case scenario for them.
When they trade Larry Markkinen because he's doing too well, then things get back to where we're going to expect them to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. In my mind, this is the like number one sweet spot to be in as an NBA fan. You don't have any real expectations, and also just looking forward to the draft. But anything else that you get, slightest good performance, your night is made as a fan.
Facts. Yeah, honestly, I think that's all the main teams we got to talk about this week. We can save some for next week's episode. But this has been a good first week of basketball. I think generally the season's been good so far. I know some of the past few years, the first couple weeks have been like ass, and like I think last year the scores were like the highest they've been in decades. There's no defense being played. So far, it's been good quality basketball.
It's been great, bro. I've been seeing the Atlanta Hawks play basketball, even though they just got that ass clapped by the fucking Charlotte Hornets and Gordon Hayward, that stupid ass haircut, ski mask, Terry Rozier, and baggy shorts. That I say again, he had super baggy shorts for no reason. Gordon Hayward. It's been great, bro.
We can talk about the Hawks have been interesting. Like,
look,
we're seeing the vision. We're seeing the vision with DeJounte Murray. Like, you're seeing how like they can fit theoretically. Yeah. Like, there's enough ball to go around to both of them.
Yeah.
But like they haven't been perfect. You could tell there's still some holes there. Like, so weirdly enough, they've been a great defensive team, like top 10 in defense, but like a really mid offensive team. Yeah. Despite having two, like I think they have like the 2 assist leaders on their team, which is really weird.
Yeah.
You want to talk about why that is?
Yeah, my thing
is... The 22nd in offense.
First off, I don't like Nate McMillan as a head. I don't love him as a head coach whatsoever. Never really did. But, you know, we might as well do with what we have him as is. But for my thing is for Trae Young, he hasn't played with someone who's damn near on his level for a very long time. Since like AAU high school days.
On his level? You're a stretch. You're reaching.
Okay, but I see
how is that
point.
A stretch? I'm like, when I say on his level... Like,
my bad.
Similar enough place. I
know what you mean. I know what you mean. Go ahead.
Exactly. So like,
my bad.
It's hard to balance that while also learning how to expand on your game without having the ball in your hands and balancing out just the natural playmaking instincts. There's times where I'm like, what the hell is this dude doing? He's not being as aggressive. And there's other times where I'm just like, yo, like he's not like swing that thing a couple more times. And he's just sometimes the offense just feels real clunky. Clunky, and he's one of the main reasons. He also hasn't been shooting the ball well at all, which is like not going to happen in a couple weeks from now. That issue is going to fix itself. But I think just Trae Young is just trying to find his pace and his rhythm. It all starts and ends with him. But I'm really happy with what we have right now. I think all those issues will solve itself over time. DeAndre Hunter has been really damn good for my expectations for him. He got that pretty good contract, and John Collins has been fucking stellar, bro. John has been stellar doing what he's doing. And like all the Hawks fans saying, "Oh, John Collins look like a goddamn." They look like idiots right now. And DeJounte Murray's doing exactly what I thought DeJounte Murray was going to be doing. And one of the most underrated aspects that he's brought to the Atlanta Hawks is how many deflections that he causes, and just the disruption with his long ass arms that he just naturally is. He just straight up chaotic, bro. Like. Because of him, I noticed the Atlanta Hawks they're just like, they're more of a fast-paced team in transition. You know, we have a lot more options, and our offense is just it's a lot harder to predict now. You can't just face up all on Trae anymore, because the shit just won't work, because we got another playmaker in DeJounte Murray who can dish it out and swap it up to anyone.
They're 8th in pace right now.
Yeah, exactly. Pace is crazy now, and it's mainly because of the transition offense. I didn't look at any stats, but this is just all off the dome. Something that we've been really struggling with, though, is the 3-point shooting. Again, Trae has a lot to do with that, but also, like, legit, like, losing Kevin Huerter and not having Bogdan Bogdanovic, that man's knee maybe hurts. That hurts.
I was going to say something about that.
Yeah.
That hurts.
So I feel like we're seeing that, so, like, obviously, we're kind of seeing the clunkiness, like you're saying, and that's kind of what I told you was going to happen, with having two people that need the ball in their hands for the most part. But I'm a little bit encouraged because in terms of touch distribution, it's kind of been like Trae Young hasn't missed a beat in terms of how many touches he has. The types of touches are different. But we're seeing that there was enough touches there vacated by Herter and Bogdan that DeJounte can kind of just take those and everything can go business as usual. But like you're saying, the spacing is pretty different when you have those two great shooters versus DeJounte, who is okay at best.
Yeah.
So exactly. I guess balancing that and figuring out how to maximize DeJounte's touches and surround him with shooting outside of that is going to be the big puzzle piece.
We legit, to start off the season last year, we had 3. It was white boy summer a couple years ago, bro. Like, we legit had Danilo Gallinari, Bogey was healthy, Kevin Herter, and everyone else. Like, it didn't really matter what they did. But those 3 literally knocked down snipers. Helped a lot, and now we lost every single one of those guys, and our best shooter outside of Trae Young right now, maybe John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and then after that, it's a fucking rookie, AJ Griffin, and Dud McMillan don't like to be playing rookies. Yes, so it's just like, it's just tough right now. It's a tough scene, and best case scenario is either A, like Bogey comes back and gets healthy, and now we're gonna be damn near a finished product, or AJ Griffin goes ahead, who's a rookie, 18 years old, goes ahead and steps in a little bit more, but that's just like, that's so up in the air at this point.
So what you're telling me is that your team is
it
sounds like y'all struggling. Right?
No.
It sounds like
we're good.
I might be right.
No.
No.
Yeah, but who'd you beat? You beat Houston and you beat some other bottom.
We did what we were supposed to do.
The Magic.
Dang. We did what we were supposed to do.
Okay, you did.
But Orlando,
I knew you were gonna pull this shit on the podcast.
Orlando made that game very, very close until
absolutely.
That game.
That's because Paolo's him.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
okay,
let's
get to these TikTok segments.
I think that's all that we have, right? For the first
let's get to these TikTok segments because the first TikTok I want to do is similar to the conversation we've been having. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna list some NBA teams. Y'all let me know if you're buying or selling their stock after 1 week of the season.
Let's do it.
The Lakers.
Selling.
I am buying.
I've been sold mine though. I don't have.
It's low as hell. I'm buying because of that defense.
Yep. I think I'm buying because, like you're saying, the defense is elite. And the value is so low right now. I think they're going to trade Westbrook sooner rather than later. So I'm going to get in early. Once they trade him, they're going to be a solid team.
This man is doubling down. Going to lose all his money.
Yeah, it's a scary bet right now. They're pretty fucking horrible. So I'm not super confident.
When Westbrook is on this team in February, it's not going to be fun.
Oh, God, I'll vomit. I'm buying it for pennies on the dollar right now. I got to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The Nets.
I'm buying. I think
I'm buying for sure.
Yeah, the offense is already working. Like you talked about, there's going to be a buyout market for them to go get bigs. Ben Simmons is going to get a little bit more acclimated in this defense and in this team in general. The ceiling is there for them, so I'll buy.
I'm not going to fall for the early regular season overreaction. I have to buy. They're just too talented, bro.
Yeah. Ben Simmons has so much time off. He could just only up from here. He's not going to be playing this scared forever.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I hope
he's going to average 7 points per game for the entire season. Watch him come back.
I hope not.
8 after
he's going to keep fouling out every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
You buying or selling the 76ers?
I'll buy. But I'm not buying a lot. I'll buy 2 stocks. I'm
not buying a lot.
Yeah, I'm not.
I already had a lot to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
I can only sell. I'm holding, but maybe I'll sell a little bit.
Damn. Sell a little bit?
I am concerned about their defense. The offense is going to be fine, but I'm a little bit concerned about the defense.
Dude, you shouldn't sell just because Joel Embiid just put on a couple pounds. I'm keeping mine.
True. Yeah, you're right. He'll come back and get to his normal self eventually.
I will buy a little bit. That's it.
Damn, 30 burgers from Harden ain't enough for you? You are a toxic man.
No, it's championship or bust for them. And so if they win a championship, like that's the only time
You know what? Actually, no, I'm going to buy. I think no matter Joel Embiid's going to get back to being who he is. The fact that we see that Harden is at least resembling now that we see that Harden is at least resembling his old self, eventually they're going to get both at the same time. They're going to be great.
Yeah.
I you know what? I'll sell you my stock. You can have mine. I don't want it.
I don't want it. Okay. Are you buying or selling Timberwolves stock?
Selling. I'm selling it. I don't see the vision for them long term in the playoffs. I think it's gonna take too long for them to get going. And you already know I don't like Rudy Gobert. I don't like Cat. I don't want to hold on to the stock. Like no, I'm out.
I'm gonna sell because at first I wasn't high on them. I kind of convinced myself they're gonna be a regular season juggernaut, and I bought a lot of it. I'm selling it. I'm back to being pretty concerned about their long term fit.
I'm Sheesh. That leaves it all to me. I can't sell because y'all sold, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep. I'm not going to buy anymore. I'm just going to keep, bro, because they're just too risky. Okay. Yeah, I'm a hold, bro. They're just too risky of a gamble, and I don't want to put that much into someone like Karl Anthony Towns, who's proven me wrong every single time that I bet on. I'm good.
That's funny. What about the Pelicans?
Oh, I'm buying.
Give me everything in the vault. I need it ASAP.
They look great.
Yeah, it's hard not to be high on them. Yeah. I had them in like the playing range. I had them like I went back and forth, and are they going to be like the 7th seed type thing? They still might be because there's so many good teams, but they could very well be the 4th or 5th seed. It won't be shocking.
I'm buying. As soon as Zion's as soon as he gets back, they're eating.
Yeah, they're gonna be filthy.
Regardless of whether or not Zion is healthy on a consistent basis or not, they're still gonna be great regardless, bro.
Okay. What about the Trailblazers? I'm gonna let you know, they're great. I'm selling high.
I'm selling high too. This is the best and most cohesive the Blazers are gonna be all season long. We're gonna get to a point where they're gonna lose 3 out of 6, 3 out of 7, and I guess that's not that bad. But they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose some more games, and so I'll sell it right now.
I still think they're gonna be a good team, but they're so good right now. They're number 1 seed. This can't last.
They're making the playoffs though. They're making the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that. They're gonna be a playing team.
Yeah, I'm definitely selling mine as well. Ooh.
Okay, I can see win the play-in, but I'm saying they're not gonna be a 6 seed.
Yeah, I can see that. But me personally, I think I'm going to go ahead and sell them on a high note, not sell them with any like fear or worry that they're just going to burn out and crash, because I already know what they are. This is a good storyline. Like you said, they're going to go ahead, do their thing. Maybe first months of the season, they're going to be like, oh, top 4 seed. And the next thing you know, things are going to come down crashing and burning. And then they're going to lose like fucking 7 out of the next 10 games.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the teams I got. I like that segment. I think we're going to run that one back a few more times.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Easily.
Yeah. I like the buying or selling verbiage as a big fantasy player.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next on the docket?
We got one more segment we're going to do. Not doing a whole lot today. Actually, yeah, maybe probably just this one last one. Yeah, so much to get to. Okay. Which NBA player has disappointed you the most so far this year?
I am going to go with Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry. I was
bounce that ass, Lowry.
Yep. I was capping for him in the offseason because the same grace that we were giving James Harden, I was trying to extend the same thing to Kyle Lowry. He had a lot going on last season. I thought, listen, you give him another full offseason to get healthy, be in that Miami organization, he can get right. He has not looked good. And he looks washed right now. And for them, especially because PJ Tucker left, right? You need Kyle Lowry to help advance that half-court offense so that it can overtake the defense and they could be like that. That could be the split. And it just hasn't happened yet. And so now you have a really, really big contract and your point guard's not playing well. So I'm really, really nervous about my Miami prediction going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I could say Russell Westbrook as a Lakers fan, but I can't be disappointed if I had no expectations. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I got to go Joel Embiid. They're 0-3. He's going to be fine, but right now he's not fine. And you just kind of expected more from somebody who you guys thought was going to win the MVP.
Facts.
Yeah.
No, Facts.
Absolutely. And right now it's hard to see him get back to MVP level when he's starting this slow. The narrative is going to leave him behind.
Absolutely. My choice is Anthony Edwards. Y'all, specifically you, Donovan, were telling me that this man's going to be different this year simply because of a haircut.
That's not what I said. No.
I'm framing you right now. I'm lying on my ass. Shut up. This is for the clip.
This man is lying.
You were telling me that he was going to be different this year, and this man going to show up into training camp out of shape like shit, being 240. He's like, bro, he's only 6'4". He looks a lot bigger than 6'4", but damn, I expected a lot more. I thought it was going to be the year for Anthony Edwards to go ahead and become an all-star. And if the T-Wolves are going to be struggling like this, no shot that happens.
Yeah, he'll probably be better, but we definitely got to see it before we assume he's going to make the leap everybody thought he would.
Exactly, bro.
Don't put that on me, by the way. Don't you ever lie on my name
again.
Nah,
I can literally find a clip of you saying that, bro. I can literally find a clip of you saying that.
That's funny. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I think we're good now. You know what? I'm just going to hear the podcast is over.